Hello, welcome back. Now, if you remember a few months ago, I posted a video on regular client order some of the exotic timbers. So this is one of those pieces. It was a much bigger chunk like this, so I'm saving the rest for something another. And there is another offcut here. So this is ZIRCOTE. First time turning this. It's really heavy, dense timber, and so what we're going to do is just make a simple, a little taller box. So nothing crazy in terms of shape, and I really like the sapwood and heartwood here, the discoloration. So we'll let the wood speak for itself. So we're going to turn this first between the centers. So what I'll do is just mark the center by eye. That's roughly bang on, and the more you do this stuff, as Richard likes to say, you'll get better at it. So that's something close here. So a little bit of pressure, and we'll turn this around, and I'll use a bigger rest. So this is a bigger rest, and so we're just going to first make this into a cylinder, bring the speed down, bring the speed up slightly in increments up. So this is, let's go higher, it can handle. So that's 1200 RPM, a little less than that. And I'll use a Continental spindle gouge just to remove the corners first. Here. Now I'll use 1-inch skew just to smooth everything up in a nice cylinder. So bring the speed up a little bit more. So this roughing stage will tell you what you need to know about how the wood handles everything. So that's a few planing cuts with the skew, but I don't feel the surface that it's all that well. So we have a lot of chip out grain here, but that could be from the gouge, and I still have a flat spot here. So I'll first remove that. Okay, so we have nice cylinder, but the grain is terrible, even on the hardwood here. So I need to change the game of plan here. So again, the roughing stage, that's when you sort of play around to see how you'll get the best surface on the piece of wood. So let's try low peel. So that will be high peel. This is just scrape. If I place the scraper, the skew blade flat or level, so between the high scrape and the level handle, so that's your low peel. Sometimes the wood won't cooperate, so So sometimes the wood just doesn't want to cooperate, so you have to adjust on the fly. So I already see there is a much better surface here, and I still have to deal with this a little bit more. Now what I have here is a split like so, and I hope by the time I clean everything up it should be gone. I hope. Again, there is a difference. This is the level blade. Just sounds terrible, you're scraping. And this is high peel, which is great for removing a lot of wood. Like so. So that's peeling cut. So you want to find the middle place for the low peel. And the sound you'll get is sort of a whistle. Okay, so as you can see, that's now ready to be sand surface. Apart from this split here, so I know that the planing cut with the skew won't work here the best. So again, you have to adapt on a certain woods like this. So this particular one doesn't like to be planing cut, so we'll adapt. So again, I have this split here, which is really annoying. I don't know how far does it go in, and there is another one here. I might split this split in half, like so. That way I can make any details or anything on this side, and still I have to put a tenon here. So roughly, let's say, or a ridge here, and we'll use this portion for the box, and this I'll keep for the later, or any other shape box or anything like that, where I have the opportunity to bring this down a little bit more. So yeah, so I'll part it off right in the middle of that split here, and I'll use this thin parting tool. I'll release a little bit of pressure here. And before I part this off, I'm just going to put a little ridge here. That way I can register the jaws here. Okay, that's far enough. And you can now just twist it and you can break it off. So again, this will be for the later date, and now I can see on the end grain here how far the split goes, and unfortunately it does go deep here. So yeah, I'll see about this, what we can do. We're going to put the blank with this little ridge here up against the jaws. And that will register it nice and true. So now I'll clean it up a little bit, and we will decide on the lid, and this will probably be the base, So because there is a split here, so I can maybe do some sort of a detail here. We'll see about that. So again, skew, low peel, just to chew it up a little bit. And we'll go across the bottom here. That doesn't feel like a good cut, so I'll try to use a spindle gouge. Now that's much better, and I need this will be again the base, and I need again another ridge for the jaws to register. Something like this. And let's see about the proportions. So if I do this, and this will be the top, we need a flange for the base, like so, and this will be roughly the base, and that's 2/3, 1/3. That should be okay. So we can part it off here. Oh, sorry, on this line here. Maybe a little bit more. I dropped the piece, but it parted off quite nicely. The first thing is to just chew it up. Again, 10mm spindle gouge. That's quite good, and the outside diameter will be slightly smaller, maybe here, and we can hollow it out up to maybe this portion. So let's see. Again, I'll use 10mm spindle gouge and a back hollow cut. So go to center, drop the handle, raise and drop. Should raise the rest slightly. That's the bulk of the wood out. Raise the rest up, and I'll use a narrow square and scraper. And that wants to grab. Now what happened is this burr here is a pulled burr with a burnisher, so I think it's a little bit too aggressive for this kind of dense timber. So what I'll do is just go to a grinder and put the burr from the grinder on. That's a burr straight from the grinder. So let's see now. Yeah, that's now much better. Much less aggressive. And sorry, I bumped the camera a little bit. So right from the start I noticed that I like to sneeze from this timber, but my god, this is clean as a whistle. This is, I mean, you don't have to sand this timber, just scrapes so lovely. You see here and here, so that's really nice. So the other thing is, I just want to extend the flange a little bit further in. Just go a little bit deeper for the flange. Now, ideally I would use a dust collector here, and I might do that. Just to take away a little bit of dust. I want to check the flange here, that it's parallel or slightly dovetail, so that it's slightly bigger diameter at the back than in the front. So I like to do, just place the ruler here nice and firmly and just sight through the bedways from the top, bird's view, and I can tell you right away that the opening is slightly bigger, so I need to take a little bit more at the back. And I'll raise the rest slightly more. So nothing at the opening and 1 mil, let's say, at the back. This is the crucial step, because if you don't do it right, it won't be easy to fit the tenon later, the base. Okay, so that's good. So you always want to do something with the inside. So I have here a bowl scraper. Now this has the pulled burr with the burnisher, so I have to be careful. And actually I want to go slightly deeper. That's just a little bit too grabby, so I'll use a diamond phone to remove the burr. And put a fresh one on. Feels super nice. Just to see. Yeah, that's really clean. So what I'll do is just quickly sand this, and just to see this area, so it's slightly inward, which is what I'm after. So I'll quickly sand this and polish it up. So just put a little bit of tung oil. Although maybe not even necessary, because this is quite oily wood. And beeswax, or even I think this is carnauba wax even. So we'll see how it melts. And that's looking really lovely. So let's take it off the chuck. Just to show you, that's really nice. So that will now be set aside, and we'll focus on the base. So this is our parted off, and we have the ridge here. So first step is to true up the end grain here. Again, spindle gouge has shown to be the best or the easiest method. And what I'll do is just roughly fit the lid over the inside of the lid. So that's just a rough measurement. Still doesn't fit over, which is good for this stage. Okay, so that's just roughly, so I know the boundary when I hollow this out. And again, I'll use spindle gouge this time, a little bigger one, 1/2 inch, 12 mil diameter. Good. It's really hard stuff. Raise the rest, and again I'll use 1/2 inch wide square and scraper. And I need dust collector on. Drill a depth hole and just stop shy of this end of the flute. Now I'll use a bigger one, bigger square end scraper, which has a longer handle. And I'll also have to reduce the size or aggressiveness of the burr. As far as I went in, that's nice and clean, and now I just need to go further down. So you might saw that how all of the fine dust that I'm scraping off goes directly into dust collector, and I feel it's less harmful for my nose. So I still have to go a little bit further down. So I'm right over where the jaws are, so I'm getting close. So now I should be close to the bottom. Okay, I can see the bottom of the hole, so still a little bit more. Get one little nice scrape to the side, and I'll just clean up the side with the hone. just a little bit of tung oil. And this, I think it's carnauba wax, since it doesn't like to be melt easily. And just push that in. Okay, so that's nicely finished on the inside. And now the next step is to fit the lid over. So this just barely fits, so we need to take it down. So that fits on this area almost half, and now I need to adjust on this area here. So get this down a little bit. Now we can test the fit. So that's just enough. I feel the air coming out, so I'm just going to keep it as it is. But it's 2 mil long, this flange here, so I need to take it down. The easiest way is to use the skew bevel. Okay, so that fits nicely. Still I have to do some of the shaping here, and that usually is much easier to do when you have a snug fit on the lid, so you do both things at once. But in this case, what I'm going to do is, since the lid isn't done here, I'm just going to put a little bit of paper towel. So a little bit of paper towel, I think 1 layer should be enough, and it is. So now I can finish the top here, and later I can finish this area here. So drop the rest a little bit down. And again, I'll use a spindle gouge. Now I can get better surface here if I just lightly scrape this and square and scraper. Light pressure. As you can see, that's almost perfect. There is something here, I think, from the cone center. With the skew. Doesn't need much, maybe in this area here, like so. Maybe we'll put a little bead here so it's easier to open up. And this is a good start for the bead. So that's really good. There is this little hole here, not sure if you can see that. Not sure if that's something in the wood or maybe caused by a spur drive. People or new turners are often afraid of using standard scrapers on anything basically, but I find it just works much better than a negative rake scraper. So that's done here. So now I can focus on the side. So again, from the roughing stage, we know that this wood likes to be scraped, or in this case I'll use low peel. Now that's nice and clean and pretty much straight. So I think I'm going to leave it as it is. Just going to turn it so it matches the grain a little bit. It's close enough. There we go. There is a little twist here with the grain. So when this area doesn't line up, here it does line up, so kind of weird, but it is what it is. So now I'm thinking, do I want to put something here on the transition? And it's always good to do something here because wood can warp or anything like that. So I think I'm going to put something here. So this is ready pretty much for sanding. And now actually what I might do is just, I'm going to leave it as it is. Just going to put a little V groove here. And on the bottom, put a little bead here on the top. So first let's put a V groove. Okay, and now I can roll this bead and do this end. Okay, that's pretty good. And just thinking about maybe do something here as well, similar. Okay, that should be okay. So I pulled the lid slightly off the base so I can finish everything. So again, a little bit of tung oil, and then this is carnauba wax, and the lid slid back on. Actually didn't fit all the way, which is good. So let's see, that looks really nice. So take it off. So that's the lid done. You can set it aside and remove this paper towel. Actually, I need the lid one more time just to see if it fits all the way down, which a little bit of sanding I still have to do on this area, so that will be perfect. So now we can move the base out of the chuck, and you always have with the shark jaws this next step in line, so I can use maybe the second one. Let's see, just have to align it and it should run close to true. There we go. Just have to be close enough, and it appears it's almost perfect. Yeah, that's really good enough. Again, skew and just finish up this. Again, planing cut won't work here on this particular timber, this batch. So I'm using low peel, and I want to finish majority from this side. And that's pretty straight up to this area here. And I need to just double check if I remove all the teeth marks. And it appears that I have, so that's really nice. And again, I'll just finish half of it. And again, beeswax. Or carnauba wax, actually. Not sure why I'm saying beeswax. It's definitely harder than beeswax. And that looks gorgeous, just gorgeous. Perfect fit. Just to show you this, how it slips on. There we go. Nice, simple, and just to put it in a microphone, close to microphone, so just enough fit. And we'll see how it warps, or will it warp at all. So I don't think it will, so that's just perfect. So again, now I'll just use put a jam chuck on, and we'll finish up the bottom. Okay, that's perfect fit, but still it's it's quite out from the chuck here. Now I could bring the tailstock here, which I will do. just in case there is a little vibration or anything. I don't want this to come off and at least hit. It won't come off completely, but it will hit the tool rest and then just get damaged. Tighten it up. It's running nice and true. So if you throw up your jam chuck and everything, it should run nice and true. So all I have to do now is blend this. So that's it. And if I remember correctly, there was another split here. Just want to double check. And here it is. So that's now good way or good time to fill it up, because on this area we might only have to sand. I don't think it's necessary to put a bead here. Like so. Let it soak in. Put a little bit on. And I always sort of play around on both sides of the split and force this thin CA glue in. And grab a little bit of shavings and just wipe it off. So that's good. And now we can go across the bottom. Again, dropping the rest a little bit. We are now using gouge, not the skew. Once I'm in the wood, again, I can open it up slightly and just go nice and gently. And I should have done this before, but I want to get it nice and concave. I think that should be enough. And again, with the skew, I'll just put a little chamfer here, maybe a little bit bigger one, to get it a nice lift from the table. I think that should be okay. And just a little tweak here, get slightly smaller diameter. Okay, that feels good. A little decoration here. And also this gives you sort of a radius where to sign your work. And now I'll remove the tailstock. So I can go across the bottom here, again with the spindle gouge. This time I'll put my thumb on the tool rest and just lightly, not hold, but have my fingers wrap around the spindle, so just in case if it wants to fly off. And just light cuts. Again, this is really hard, dense timber. No need to hurry. A little hump in the middle. There we go. Now the bottom I won't polish up just yet. I'll just sand it, and I have to sign it, but I can finish up the side here. So sanding is next, and polish up this area here. Then I'll quickly sign it, and then I can polish it up completely. Again, just a little bit of tung oil. It will help out with spreading this. And that's one lovely, stunning box. So I think it's time to assemble it. And here it is. So really pleased with it. It's a lovely timber to work, apart from the irritation on the nose, at least my nose. So you can see how it lines up quite nicely, and it spins freely, and there is a little suction pop when you open it up. And also another good feature is when you have the lid correctly, the flange correctly done, and this just perfect. And then when you drop and you have a nice heavy lid like this, well, it's not super heavy, but it's heavier than most timbers, then just drop it on top and it will fall in its place. Come on, there we go. So just perfect. And the bottom, oh, I forgot to show you the inside, so still need to wipe. You can see here a little bit, but the inside is done nicely as well. So really pleased with it, and I think from the other chunk I might turn some bowls or anything like that, maybe cross grain box, something in that fashion, just to see how it works with the ball gouge. So again, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.